guys, welcome back to the videos. I am super excited to be bringing you a tutorial on today's look. It's definitely something that I don't normally do. I was really inspired recently by seeing a bunch of pastel eyeshadow looks, and I think that it's wonderful for Easter that's coming up this weekend, as well as because it's going to be April this weekend and it's spring. The weather is finally beautiful outside. It's 68 degrees today. I'm definitely going to be going for a walk, but it's getting warmer and I'm just ready to really start using those bright, vibrant colors, you know, that spring gives you and summer. And gosh, I'm diving in today with the Jeffree Star palette, which, I mean, come on, if this does not yell spring and summer to you, I don't know what does. So if you're really interested in seeing how I got today's look, then just keep on watching and I'm going to jump into the tutorial. Here we go. I'm going to be going in first with a Morphe M433, and this is a blending brush. It's a little bit smaller, kind of denser of a blending brush, and I'm going to be using that for the inner corner of my eye. And I'm going in with this green shade right here to begin with, and this is the shade Sour. So I don't want to go in heavy-handed. I definitely want to build it up lightly, just because this green, I'm noticing it's not a true pastel green. It is a lighter green, but I wouldn't call it pastel. And for the look today, I kind of want to keep it pastel. So I'm going to be going in to start off with the lighter green. And then if I have to lighten it up, which I did on this eye, I'll mix it with a white. Okay, so I'm going to pick some of that up. Tap off your excess because, like I said, you want to go in light-handed at first. And I'm going to be going in with this on the inside corner of the eye. You can just tell, like, it's gonna take me a while to do this. I'm gonna keep count of how many times I dip in just so that you guys can, you know, understand what I mean by work slow. Start by, like, first kind of packing the shade on just to get it to, like, the color consistency that I want. And I also look down and away so that I can open this inside space of my eye. If I were to cut my eye in thirds, I'm going on the inner third of the eye. And also another tip, hold the end of your brush, not the center or like up higher, because this allows you to have like a lighter hand as opposed to if you were like going in heavy like that. So I hold it at the bottom. Okay, next I'm gonna go in with a Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH33 brush. Definitely more dense as well. And the next shade that we're going to be dipping into is this shade right here. It's the shade Cute, and this is kind of like a teal aqua kind of color, which is one of my favorite colors in life. Okay, so I'm going to place this first on the lid. And honestly, like, you don't even really need to put these colors on the lid because we're going to be cutting the crease. But I will say I like to do that just because I find it easier to blend. I don't know. I'm weird. Like I said, you don't have to do that. And I'm just kind of, once again, packing the color on first. And I'm using, like, just tapping motions. I'm not swiping. I'm not circles. Just, like, literal tapping. And I tap kind of back and forth, just slightly over the green shade. Now I'm gonna go back in with that green shade with nothing else on the brush. I'm not like picking up extra product, and I'm just kind of running it over where those two colors meet. I'm gonna pick up a little bit more of that shade because I lost the color consistency that I wanted. Next, I'm gonna go in with a blue shade, and I'm using the JH50 by Morphe. Once again, dense. And the next color that we're going to go in with is this light blue shade here in the palette. This is called Brain Freeze, and this color is super, super pigmented, and I wish I would have known that a little bit. It took me a lot to work with this shade over here just because it overpowered all the other colors, because this one is like truly a pastel type of shade, where these two have like a little bit more darkness in them. This is a true pastel, so it was definitely overpowering, so I literally just tapped it once. I don't want to like go in heavy-handed with this color, which is what I learned on the other eye. Same thing, just like patting motions, building it up slowly. This is very similar to the shade next to it, but it just has like a little bit more blue in it rather than aqua. The next color that we're going to use after this color is the purple, and I just found that like the purple needed that blue in there just to help it transition to the other colors. Okay, and then I'm going to go back in with that shade Cute, which is the aqua color, just a little bit, and tapping that over the blue shade because I just want to make sure that those colors are blending really nicely. I'm going to kind of rock this shade back and forth between the blue and the green just so that those colors can kind of connect. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and add in the purple. I'm going in with a JH35 and the shade is called Gumdrop. It's this purple in the palette, which you can tell is also a really nice pastel shade. So it's super pigmented. I'm just, okay, dip, dip, tap. Get a little complicated with this purple just because the other shades are kind of in the same, they look the same. They look very similar. This purple does not look like a blue or a green. It looks like a purple. So it just takes some time to work with, and once again you just want to tap. Don't want to swipe, just want to tap a little bit over the blue. Just to initially lay that color down. And then I do kind of wing it out just a little bit. I'm going to bring this up a little bit higher just because I feel like I am definitely a little higher on this side. And I'm just like winging that out. Which now I'm going to use like a little bit of back and forth motions to truly like bring the color out, just because I don't need to like blend it over here necessarily. I'm gonna cut that crease and there's no other colors to like mesh it with. And I'm gonna swipe back and forth between the purple and the blue. This is where we have to get really careful, just because that purple, being a true pastel, see how it's like overpowering the blue now? So now I need to go back in and add that blue shade on top, but that blue shade is also super pigmented. So just kind of working and like blending the colors, and then you're gonna lose a little bit of the color, so you have to go back in and just kind of add after you blend, just to get it to the point where you like it. Find that it's just like super helpful to tap it rather than just like circles or like swipes back and forth. I just think that it comes out like a little bit easier to blend when you kind of tap the color instead. And I'm just bringing these shades up a little bit higher to match this side, because I do come up pretty high on that side. Up a little bit more of that green shade and bringing that shade up higher as well, which can feel a little unnatural because it's kind of like in the bridge of the nose, but it's okay. Hey guys, I'm really liking where this is, I feel like this eye is giving me less trouble than the other eye, of course. I'm not picking up any extra product either. I'm just kind of using what was already left on the brush to blend the shades as well. Okay, so I kind of like where that's at. I feel comfortable, I think, to go ahead and cut the crease. Whew, this part is where it gets like a little bit complicated. So I'm taking my I always call it Shart. Anybody else? Tarte Shape Tape. And I'm just gonna do like a dollop on the back of my hand. And now I'm taking a Morphe M421. It's like a really tiny like flat brush. And I'm gonna dip in and coat my brush. Now I'm gonna start, you know, right, gosh, that's the hard part, is trying to make sure that you're like even. Whoop, a little line. And then I'm gonna kind of like take this and map out the shape down. And if you guys can do this without your eyes watering, kudos to you, because I feel like I'm already gonna start crying. Okay, kind of similar. Honestly, doesn't have to be perfect. Some people try to go for perfection. I know that perfection doesn't exist, so I'm cool with that. And now I'm just gonna kind of use like tapping motions to fix any areas that the shape looks a little wonky. Interesting. Alright, so this is where I'm at with the cut crease. I feel like it kind of looks similar to the other side. Now, the next step is a little difficult. We're gonna remove that concealer that we just put down. So, okay, so I'm taking some of the Garnier Micellar Water and just regular Q-tips, and I'm gonna clog the hole. Can you imagine if I lost the grip of this Q-tip? Oh, okay. Put a little bit on the end, and now I'm gonna go in and remove all of that concealer we just used to cut the crease, because I feel like the shades just come out better and the look looks cleaner when I do it this way, as opposed to like leaving it on there, because then the eye kind of looks a little cakey. I don't like that. I don't want a cakey eye. Oh my gosh, dude, I haven't had cake in so long. Oh, I love cake. Ice cream cake, chocolate cake, angel food. Love all cakes. Okay. Now I'm going to take whatever's left on the back of my hand and go in with my beauty blender and just tap it on. As if I was like literally just doing my foundation. Okay, it looks a little less cakey. I don't know if you guys can like tell on camera, but it just, I don't know. I think that it looks a lot more natural looking. I mean, I don't know that any of this looks natural, but I just don't feel like it looks cakey. So next I'm gonna set that concealer. I'm gonna go in with the shade Virgin, and that's this white in the palette, and I'm just gonna pick it up on a fluffy JH3 1, and I'm going in pretty heavy, and we're gonna set the concealer that we just put down with the white eyeshadow. Next I'm gonna pick up the shade Jawbreaker in the palette, and I wouldn't say that it's white, and when you use it, it definitely comes out like a little bit golden, but it's this shimmer shade down here in the palette, and I'm taking this up. There's no name left on this brush, I'm sorry you guys, but it's just like a little dense flat brush, and I'm gonna place that underneath the brow bone, and then I'm also going to pat this shade on the lid. Now I'm going to go in with each of the shades, and I'm just going to try and like darken them up a little bit. I'm not picking up any extra product. I'm just using whatever was like left on the brush and darken just by where I cut that crease. Just to like redefine that line out again. Okay, I'm just going in with that Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm picking up on a Essence eyeliner brush, which it looks like this, and it's nice and angled, and I'm just gonna pick up a little bit of this black in the palette. And you guys don't have to use these palettes, you can use, you know, any black eyeshadow. And what I'm basically gonna do is map out where I want my wing liner to go, but I'm first gonna do it with the black eyeshadow. Okay, so I get like that kind of shape first. And then what I do is I go in with a Morphe M432. This is like a flat definer brush. And I'm going in with the Maybelline Gel Liner. And I just pick up some of this, and I also use my brush when it's wet. So I like wet this, and this is waterproof too. But man, does it make it stick, holy crap. So I'm gonna basically just tap where I put that shadow. And then I'm gonna drag the corner to meet the eye. And then I'm gonna drag upwards. Doesn't look good right now, just bear with me. That is because our brush is wet. I actually need to add some more to that side. Oh, that was perfect. Okay. But that's because our brush is wet. So the color doesn't go on as dark when it is wet. I will say that, but it just like, I don't know, like this can be drying sometimes. So I feel like it definitely makes it to where the product, like, I don't know, I'd rather build it up, I guess, than like be dragging and ruining the shadow underneath, if that makes any sense. It's actually like a little too wet, I'm not gonna lie. So let me, I just squeeze some of the water off on a paper towel, and I'm gonna try and darken this. Okay, my eye is doing something very funky right here, if you guys can see, because the brush when I went in was just like a little too wet. So what I'm gonna do instead is go back in with the brush that I used for the black shadow and pick up the black shadow to kind of dry that area. Which that works perfect, actually. I'm also gonna put it underneath on the waterline. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, I'm satisfied with that. Now that we have our wing on, we're gonna go ahead and put our inner corner highlight on. And to do that, I'm using the M213 little tiny brush like this, and I'm just gonna pick up some of the Jaclyn Hill loose highlighter in the shade Extra, which is back in stock on her website. And I'm just gonna really build this up on the inner corner just because I really want it to like pop. And I'm gonna add a little actually too underneath my eye over here. Okay, now that I have that on, I'm going to take the cream gel liner by Colourpop in the shade Exit. It's just like a white liner, and I'm going to put that on the lower lash line. And this is just going to make the eye look a little bit more awake. Next, I'm going to go in with the Bellame High Definition Mascara. This is that mascara I talked in my last video about. It is an MLM scam, which I don't really support, but it is the best mascara I've ever used in my life, so I'm gonna use it. Adding the mascara to the top and the bottom. Next, we're gonna put on some lashes. So I did put glue on it and I let it get like a little tacky, probably like 30 to 45 seconds, and I have like a little tool. I got these lashes from Amazon. I have no idea who makes them, to be honest with you. So I'm really sorry about that, you guys. And then I'm just gonna make sure that they are combined with my lashes. Okay, I'm gonna put some lipstick on and I'll be right back. Guys, thank you so much for joining me for today's look. It's super fun, festive, great for Easter, great for spring. I'm so happy that April is finally upon us. I am ready for this warmer weather. It's like 68 degrees outside right now, and I'm definitely gonna go for a walk today. But thank you so much for joining me for the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Look for new videos on Thursdays. That's usually when I upload. I might be changing my upload schedule. I'm not sure. Stay tuned. If I do change my upload schedule, I will definitely let you guys know. But don't forget to also follow me on Instagram. It is at KateNicole4, and I look forward to seeing you guys for more videos in the future. Bye, guys!